Journalism has a problem. And because journalism has a problem, we all have a problem. That problem is knowing what's true. For a century or more, we relied on journalism to tell us what was true in the form of stories. Stories that we went to hear in a vast media theater we called the media. Sitting as an audience in that theater held our culture together. There was gravity there. The gravity of agreement about what journalism told us was true. Then the internet came along and blew that theater up. It did that by giving us a vast new habitat, a digital habitat, where everyone and everything was connected. This was new to human experience. There was nothing quite like this. It was strange to us and strange to our institutions because the internet doesn't have gravity. It doesn't have distance. There's no gravity because the internet is not a place. You're either there or you're not there. And if you are there, the distance between you and anyone or anything else is zero. So the defining limits of media in the physical world, the ones that gave shape to our theater, aren't there. So living in this place is just utterly strange to us. So if you're in publishing, the terms distribution and circulation are gone. They're obsolete. And for broadcasters, range and coverage are also gone. These are just delivery costs that disappear in the digital world. Meanwhile, each of us can also publish. We can also broadcast. We can forage for facts and share those with anyone, anywhere, who might be interested. This means that any of us can do the job in the digital world that journalism did in the physical one. But the job is not the same. It's not the same because we are now digital as well as physical beings. And we need new ways to inform each other about what's true, ways we can trust. Now, we can't trust the new digital media that have grown up and built up on top of the ruins of the old media theater. We can't trust it because it is funded by surveillance-based advertising. We can't trust surveillance-based advertising because it wants to shove tracking beacons in the private parts of our computers and mobile devices. Besides massively violating personal privacy, tracking-based advertising hosts a black market in fraud and malware, and it supports fake news by making prejudice pay handsomely. So, who can we trust to tell us what's true? The answer is each other. And the place to start is here in the physical world. We can do that right now. We look around at the people around us, we'll notice that everybody looks different. And everybody sounds different. This is by nature's design and by our own. We are also different than we were 5 minutes ago. if you tell me, and this is also by design, this is, we learn best from each other. So if you tell me something I didn't know, I'm not just informed by that. I am formed by it. I am changed. I'm not exactly who I was. In this sense, we are all authors of each other. And what we call authority is the right that we give certain others to form us, to make us who we are. Journalism had that authority in the old physical world, and it earned that authority by being honest and responsible. We can do that too. We have a good example of that from a few months ago in Montecito, which is the town next door to us here in Santa Barbara, when debris flows devastated the town. Debris flows are rivers of boulders and mud that flow off the face of a mountain when a heavy rainstorm follows a wildfire. Many people were killed. Many homes were destroyed. Many roads were covered in boulders and mud or blocked, and the whole town was evacuated. Very little information or news got out while the town was evacuated and rescue workers did their jobs. But countless people stepped up to inform each other using digital tools. There were pilots and ham radio operators who posted what they knew online. There were authorities on geology who explained debris flows and how they happen in helpful ways. There were official sources like the police, fire, and rescue who published what they needed to through official channels. And victims and survivors posted things on YouTube. And county workers, public people would gather data and publish those in helpful maps that helped each other, helped all of us out. And the traditional media, the print and broadcast media, they did their job too, and they did it well. But their job wasn't just telling a story, it was sharing it with the rest of us. So one of the clearest takeaways that we have from this experience is that the story is not the whole story. Traditional media can't do the job because they're just trying to tell a story. That's the old way. There are too many important facts for a story to tell by itself. That didn't work, that won't work now, and it frankly never did. The whole story that we're in now is about how we adapt together to lives that are both digital and physical, and how we rebuild the cultural center that we lost. We can't do that by turning our lives over to systems whose job is to spy on us. That will only drive us farther apart than we are already. We can rebuild our civic and cultural center by informing each other the way we did in Montecito. This is how we formed civilization in the first place, and it's how we reformed it over and over again. Now, it's by using digital tools to help our communities that we can become the best possible authors of each other and of the culture we share. Thank you.